Recording. Okay, so I'm going to make a copy of this one. If you ever do a copy, by the way, of something that's already rigged, don't be panicked when it snaps back. It's because of the skin. So just like remove that skin. It'll pop back out. There we go. So I did a really shitty unwrap on it, but I do need an unwrap for this to work. I literally just did a flat mapping, which is the worst kind of unwrapping you can do. But it's unwrapped, and that's fine. What I also need to do is any accessories that I'm going to have, any kind of like areas where there's connections in between each other, I'm going to try to separate them all away. If I'm going to go and sculpt, ideally I want to just separate them away because it's going to be much more of a pain in the ass to deal with. If, like, imagine I'm sculpting on the earrings and I'm catching a bit of ear or whatever. It's just a pain. So you might as well just separate them out. The other thing you probably want to do is, if I have duplicates like this, I'm probably just going to delete and just have one of them. Right, so you ideally want to set it up. And if you're really, really, like, I often put it back by eye, but some people are very, like, careful about how much exactly where things were. So you can right click and you can move using the square, and you can tell it to move up, like, I don't know, 5 or whatever. And okay, well, I guess that went the other way. Oh, it went too far. But that way, if you have the set numbers, like say you always move everything by 1, whenever you're putting it back, you know to put everything back by 1. So just if you are like that, I usually do it by eye or whatever way you want. So I'm just going to use the character that we have here to try and get a bit more detail into it. So this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. I'm actually going to collapse this to editable poly. And I wanted to show you something which I hadn't showed you the last time, which is how to make eyes. So the eye area should probably be around here, kind of eye over here probably, right? So there's a quick and easy way to do it, which is you grab the corners, grab the center, whatever you want to be your eye. I'm just going to do it to 1/2 of the face, and then I can hopefully convert it over. So if this is the vertex where I want to make a hole to put my eye in, I can select all of these and connect them all. So it makes like this X shape, and then you chamfer the center. Nice little trick. Chamfer, 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 where's chamfer? And there you go. And you kind of get like a circle because you've chamfered from the inside, which is pretty cool. And that way you can move that eye to the, that's not really where the eye should be, somewhere around here. I will have to read. Yeah, but so you always work kind of like first with position and then you care about smoothing later. I kind of want the eye to be here probably. Is that about right? Nope, it's not. Cool, and then I'll deal with the other fucked up vertices around the corner, around the side. Put them back into space. And you see that like I'm trying to make like have you ever seen anatomy of the eye? You see the way there's like these muscles that are going around? They're like a circular muscle around. And you're trying to get the same thing happening here, so that like it's circle around, so that when we go to animate, if I want to animate a blink or something like that, the bones will follow, like the eye mesh will follow that kind of circular shape, so it'll look like an actual eye, if that makes sense. I'm actually going to cut this here. Let's go from here to here. Cool. I think that's okay. And if I want to make this flat, by the way, because it's all like wobbly, you can see it, you can do something called a make planar. Make planar down here. And you can either make it like planar in a certain direction, so that makes it planar in like Y, which is not what I want. Or you can just click make planar and it'll average all the vertices to be flat. So, and then you can see it got flat. Put it like there. I think that's all right. Looks a bit like a monkey now. And then I can delete that. And what I can do then is just extrude in, and that'll kind of make my, you know, the eye socket. So I can extrude it in. And I get a little eye socket. And I can create a sphere for the eyeball. Let me just put a symmetry to make sure it doesn't look horrendous. It's a bit weird. It really does look like a monkey, doesn't it? So yeah, I'd spend a bit more time on it, but it's fine. Why is the symmetry not working properly? I'm not sure what's wrong with my symmetry, but it seems to be a little screwy. Okay, that's fine now. No, it's not. My neck's screwed up. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, and then I'll just use a sphere or something for the eye. And the eye is a bit weird, by the way, because if you look at an eye anatomy again, so you've got a little bumpy out bit, you can see, and that's the shiny bit, sclera, and then you have the pupil in there. But the way the pupil works, see this concave area? When light comes in, it actually looks like it's a concave area, even though it's like a lens. So what you'll often see people do to create an eye, let's drop the segments down. I don't need that high poly an eye. You can just keep it like this, do a plane sphere, and just like stamp an eyeball shape. You can completely just do that. But if you want to make lighting kind of realistic, so it looks like there's a shiny outside bit, and it looks like the, if we look at a picture of an eye, you see the way like there's that shiny area that looks like it's curving outwards, and then on the inside light is falling on the inside there. So essentially what we need to do to simulate that is we'll have to have two different spheres. So I'll show you that in a sec. Okay, edit poly that. Grab that, and I will probably do a soft selection. And pull that in, and this will be the inside of the eye. So it kind of looks like that. So when the light falls on it, it'll light up the bottom area, just as you see in like in these pictures. The bottom area is the one actually being lit because when light's falling on it. And then what we'll also do is let's make a copy of this one. Get rid of the edit poly. So in this one we'll do the opposite, exactly the opposite. So it'll pop out, kind of like that. And that will be, this one will be a transparent, shiny bit. So that will catch lighting and will look like this shiny bits here. And the inside one will be matte and will catch the underneath lighting. Now again, this is only if you're trying to do a really fancy eye. Okay? So let me turn it off. And this obviously needs to be on top of that. So you would align it using this align tool. Align here, and you can just click on something and it'll align. It'll ask you what you want to align. So they're directly on top of each other now. They have the same pivot point. The shiny one outside, I also want to push it to make it a little bit bigger than the inside. So let me just make a transparent material so you can see. Oh god. No, please, I don't want that. No, no, no. Oh god. Did my 3D smash? Oh no, did I have no save? Beautiful. Oh, great stuff. Okay, we've nothing. Great stuff. Why is it doing this? I just want to get back to normal materials. Okay, so if I align that now with this one, it'll go on top, but you can see that it's having that issue that it's right on top of each other. So you just do a push modifier, and push just allows you to push it a little bit. So that's kind of how an eyeball will look. Can I make this shinier? Should have a roughness there. Doesn't render here. But that's essentially what we were trying to do. So the inside would have a texture of an eyeball, like it'd be white and it'd have the pupil in there, and the outside would just be a shiny, transparent material that makes it look mascara. And that's how you get an eyeball, basically. Okay? So I have to do that thing all over again. Well, you also had to do the eye thing, so I'm just going to grab the eye and bring that straight into my box. And you do not want to have animation or media when you're in the mud box. Cool. Done. Close that. And we'll go to mud box. Okay, because I didn't. By the way, try to center it, because otherwise you get this stupid thing like I did, where it's off center, which is going to be really annoying. But even if you forgot to, you can go to select move, and you can translate. And you should be able to just type in like position back to 0, and it should be okay. But just FYI, just try and have it centered, so now it's a lot easier to deal with. So we can then begin to sculpt. So again, as always put a sculpt layer on, because that will help you keep things neater. And I should be able to mirror that. Is that working? Yeah, perfect. So the first thing I always want to do is try to grab the shit. Why is this not working? Great stuff. Great stuff. And I'll try to like grab the basic shape first, because she did look a lot like a monkey, which is not what I want. And only once I get the base shape going properly, I can go make a new layer, and then I can start subdividing, which, if you remember, was Shift D, which will subdivide, and it'll give me more polygons to work with. Right? And only at that point will I start like sculpting details. So I'm not going to spend loads of time getting a really nice one, because it's going to take freaking forever. So I'll just do like some basic stuff so you can see what I'm talking about.
Oh, it looks like a skeleton.
Yeah, it is. But like, if you think about it, what's your face based on? It's based on a skeleton, right? So what? What do you say?
There's a skeleton inside all.
Where's my page down button? Oh, there. You okay, hon?
No. Oh God.
horrendous.
would be cool. You guys put out.
No, that's generally not what you do.
Oh no.
So you do wanna start with like as low a layer as you can go, and yeah, it's gonna look really creepy for a long time. One thing with the mouth, by the way. Oh god, should have looked at it from the front. One thing with the mouth. It'll always look horrendous at the start, always. Never ever do this. Never do like making a lip like that. It looks terrible. Always carve in first, and then build up around. So let me just show you. So I really should be doing a realistic one because I am more used to realistic. But we'll see. And then, you know, the bottom of the lip here, this little push right here. So you carve in for that. And every so often just smooth it. And it's a really shitty resolution right now, which is fine. Good. I'm just trying to get the basic shape on it. It always looks terrible. You smooth. What? She does. Need to grab that from her. Looks like your cousin, did you say?
What?
She's got a huge chin, doesn't she?
Ariana has a huge chin.
Yeah, she's got a strong chin. She does, doesn't she? I actually don't even know what she really looks like. Oh, she's got a weird ass face.
It's actually that's close.
You probably use it.
Somewhere Conor is screaming right now.
Yeah. Inside on you. That was the picture. I think it's safe. But it is kind of.
That's not good though, that's just a bit silly. Ooh. Do you know what that is? That's one poly. That's they bent with their foot. Oh, it's not. It's just that. His eyeball is so high.
Yeah.
Oh, no one knows that. There's literally a story on it. Oh my god. So bad.
I mean, what way did they do that? Is it easy to do that as manually?
I think that's the book that they formed on a
How many limbs can a hope have?
How many limbs? As much as you put on.
It actually looks like an alien.
But like, can a hope have like 5
She kind of looks like an alien anyway.
Oh, right.
She
She does
does.
actually look like me. And that one.
You say God.
She's got massive cat's eyes.
What the heck? Give her
It's
cat.
getting weird.
Oh my god.
What?
That's exactly what you should do.
Deadly.
I was going to say, she's starting to look like a septoid from fucking.
Calm down. I'm just trying to get the eyes working. Jesus.
Are you making the head
Do you want to
realistic?
fucking start? Take over?
Are you making it realistic?
No, I'm trying not to.
I do like that this area has on
Here, well, I
You
hate.
should totally use Jake.
No, I do not want touch on my keyboard. Stop taking touch input, please. Oh my god. No. Good. Jesus. Wrecking everything.
Then we fix the
Is your phone here?
Like,
It does look pretty bad. I might start again.
It looks fine.
It
She just
looks.
looks a little
Surely
bit
it'll
tired.
do for like just this though.
What do you mean?
Like just to show us what to do. Like,
Oh yeah, but like I also don't want to.
You're a perfectionist.
Just
A little bit.
it looks horrendous.
Oh,
It's
her nose
great.
has been touch broken.
couple of times.
Literally just started doing the nose. I think I don't have enough polygons to do the nose. Cool.
I'll take the mask off.
Why does it pinch here?
Are you doing that but just create new layers on top of each other?
Mm-hmm. It takes freaking forever, basically.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have picked a human either. It's easier to do animals and stuff. That's really weird.
She does have a good chin.
She does.
You really like this.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think it looks slightly less horrendous now.
Yeah.
Slightly.
still real skinny looking in the face.
Isn't she is skinny looking though?
Yeah.
Do you not think?
Yeah, but like she's a bit more chubby to her cheeks.
Fair, can pull it out a bit.
Oh, sorry, I'll shut up. I'm still struggling with it. Oh.
Oh my god, I never saved. You alright? What's wrong? And like keep a separate layer for hair and shit like that. Hmm? Don't know if I'm going too far. Sorry, I'm just going to try and get these tools. Flatten. Sculpt. See the one I use, grab. I'm sorry. You alright?
Just the feel in the confidence.
Oh, fucking, I'm like, yeah.
You didn't have to worry about it. Go. Go quick,
Oh!
Girl, why are you acting so crazy, right?
What the fuck?
What's the actual I don't know. I don't think it's supposed to be jumping.
That's a trick.
While recording, it's true.
Roll tape.
Could be quick.
Do our children have to be this detailed?
No.
No.
She also doesn't look like Ariana Grande anymore.
No.
Looks like Angelina.
Ponytail's more on the top of her head.
I know. Oh yeah, it is. Sorry. Put it up here.
I'm just saying, like.
Just saying. That's what you say. Nice. That is. Jeez.
You have to give him like fucking abs. And that weird thing.
Yes, because as mentioned, he takes out his breast and he's Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal.
If you're making Jake Gyllenhaal, you make a little version of you.
Do you like Jake Gyllenhaal?
Oh,
It's a strange little man.
Jake Gyllenhaal is like a really bad ultimate smack.
He's only there for once and he thinks he's amazing.
It is.
Is it? Oh, it's fine so much.
Oh, right. Also that one,
I don't know
the murder.
Is the fact that he's in Brokeback Mountain?
That's also a good movie. I only watched that once. That was too sad. Made me cry too much.
Would you cry?
What?
Never watched it, so I don't know.
Oh well, then hashtag no spoilers one. Watch it yourself.
Pretty sure someone dies in it.
I'll get the Wikipedia page up.
It's about gays in the past. That's not allowed.
What's not allowed?
Pass.
Gay cowboys in the past
Oh,
where it
yeah.
was illegal to be gay, but not a cowboy.
When is it ever illegal to be a cowboy?
Just random cows all day. What's a farmer?
Not like a cowboy. Like,
Yeah.
actually, they're not really cowboys.
You know, like,
they're just herders. I don't really remember the movie.
What do you think a cowboy is?
I don't know.
They're just herders.
I have.
It's just Donnie Darko on the place. What are you doing?
He's in the End of Watch. It's fucking brilliant. Yeah, it's like a Netflix
Drama, what's it called?
yeah.
Why doesn't this look like Ariana Grande?
I suppose it's animated.
It's like it's almost Ariana Grande, but it's also not. What am I
Well,
doing
her
wrong?
eyebrows are soft, so they don't really go down as far. Her
Say again, sorry?
eyebrows are more soft. They're more straight across than going inwards.
Like here.
Yeah, like
I just
really have
really
to
don't.
stop.
It's not so illegal. I swear it was a cowboy or something.
Version of this stuff.
Oh,
So, when kids will get it, that's the perfect version of it. Go to shrine.
Oh, sugar. So you said the eyebrows are more soft.
Yeah. So they
And
don't really go down, and they're sort of straight across. And she
Like-
always has this sort of like
Like
sad
that?
look surprise kind of look in her face.
she does.
Like June Smith.
Well, not quite that, but that's the idea.
Like that?
Sort of. To be honest, I'm completely just talking out the arse here.
Well, it does look a bit. Well, not really.
Kinda.
Kinda.
Her nose is pretty spot on, by the way.
You think? The dimple is a bit much.
Yeah.
She's a very long head. She does. Let's see if we can.
Sometimes I'm going to post on the watch.
That's it. So, fuck from the movie for person. You are.
Break down.
Alright. Personal.
counts as an addition. I heard fucking Luke driving both.
Let's see. She's got like pixie ears.
Commentator.
She does.
No, I know. And she shouts twice on the commentator. Fine, yeah. No. Not just leaving authority on it.
Yeah, you fucking right.
I would listen to her in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's a lie. Is it?
That's the last person comment.
That was really good, guys.
Looks like probably didn't need to take this long. Anyway, I'd probably keep going and do way more, but it's gonna take freaking forever.
Do you ever see those footballer bobbleheads where the head is like super
Oh yeah,
realistic? That's
it's a bit creepy looking.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I probably should have planned this chibi stuff more.
Yeah.
Either way,
Look at that bitch. I'm very. Show me all of them.
she actually looks like just a normal head. Actually, doesn't look chibi. Either way, so let's say I'm finished with that. Let's say, which I'm not, but let's say. I would first of all go to the objects and I'll export this high poly one. So I'll select it there, file, export selection.
The whole thing or just the head?
I am just going to export the whole thing.
Okay.
So I'm exporting the high poly version because this is my super high poly one that I've messed around with, and then I'm going to try and retopologize it back down to a super low poly one. So mesh, what is it? Where did they move retopology to? Oh, it is still mesh. Mesh, retopologize, and then I'll do a new operation, and I'm going to target the final to be 3000. Oh, before I do that, actually, just deselect it here. You can use curves. These are curve tools, and the curve tools, what they'll do, you can mirror them as well. You can do stuff like this. So for example, that's a curved loop, so it loops all the way around. So basically you're telling Mudbox, whenever you retopologize it, whenever you try to make a new model that follows a shape, make sure you have cuts in these positions. And you'll definitely need those things because like say there where the cut is, you'll definitely have to have a cut there so they can bend. So you're basically telling Mudbox, even when you retopologize, just make sure there's a cut here. And same with here. Does that work? Yeah.
So could you just do the head?
Huh?
Could you just like export that and retopologize that.
I can, but I'm just like showing you like how it. And the thing is with the head, I do want certain things. So remember I said about the eye, like it's going around the eye and all. So I do want to probably draw a curve around the eye area, so that Mudbox knows that I want to keep that area like rounded. Same with the nose here. Probably want to do that. And the mouth area as well. Oh, sugar. And the reason, again, why I'm doing this is to make sure so that later, if I want to animate a wink or like, eyes getting wider or the mouth smiling or not smiling, I need those muscle groups to look like basically what they look like in a real face. So like if you look at the face, it's got circles around this. There's kind of like a circle around the nose area, and there's sort of like this trapezoid circly shape around the mouth. So you're trying to cut the vertices in that ear region like that, so that when I pull those vertices, they'll react like the normal muscles would. Okay, so then I might do one around the ear. Don't have to, but I'll do one.
You've got like a double loop on her hair.
I do. I don't really care too much about the hair, to be honest with you. Just going to do a curve loop here.
Yeah.
Oh. You should be able to also just grab the curve if you screw up. And just move it back into space. And then you should also be able to smooth the curve. Cool. You can fuck off. Okay. Almost done. Okay, so let me just save that. Right, so then I'll retopologize. Now, I'm only looking at the face, right? Like, so don't mind too much about the body. Just get a couple of... Look up there. Cool. So, mesh, retopologize. And our target face count is like it's going to try to go to that target, like 3000. It's going to try, but it may not be able to get there. The uniformity is basically, is it going to try to keep every vertex the same size? Now, the less uniform you are, it means like any areas with loads of small details, it'll try to put more polygons in those areas to try and fit them in, right? Because the more uniform it is, so if I... Can everyone see this bit? Right, so let's say I have a shape like that, right? And I'm trying to retopologize that, and this is like millions of polys. If I have uniform polygons, that'll be the same length, the same length, the same length. So it'll try and fit them, but keep the same size. If I don't do uniform, it allows me to do stuff like that, where this gets smaller, and this gets smaller, 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 and then big again. So it allows the program to kind of fill in more detail. So the less uniform it is. But you generally want some compromise. You don't want it to be fully like all the way there, and you don't want it to be fully uniform. So like literally it depends on the model. So I'm going to probably put that like that. Use curves to control, so it'll control using the curves. And then transfer. Cool. Symmetry, and at this point if you want you can turn on symmetry, so it's exactly the same, but I've been painting with symmetry so it's fine. And target face count 3000, is that okay? Yeah, let's try. Let's try anyway. It's going to try to reach 3000, it may not. But I already exported my high poly version, so it should be okay. Alright, so that little bar down the bottom left, it's at like 4%, so it takes a while, and it's basically recalculating, creating topology. See how long it takes. It really does look like those creepy footballer bobbleheads. I'm annoyed at myself. So take a lesson from what I've done here, which is I basically went to it going, never done a chibi before, I'm sure it'll be fine. But I'm very used to realistic, so I would probably sketch it out first, like find a chibi, or at least find a chibi drawing first and base it on that. Because I was trying to go in my head, didn't work. I basically have half realistic, half stylized, which is not great. There has to be a chibi area now. Can someone search? I'm just doing it. Huh? Oh, Patrick. Enhance.
Chibi? So I don't know if he's talking.
Yeah, that's alright.
Oh, that's
With the big forehead, I think, yeah. With the
Oh,
tiny
her forehead
eyebrows that go
is-
out like
That
that.
one is.
I'll forget to try that. Like in there.
I think that one probably was accurate. Like, you look at that and you know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, big eyelashes, big forehead, the soft eyebrows that look soft.
So to be fair, the eyelashes I would do separately. I'm going to do like a mesh for the eyelashes. Something? Okay, so 2830. You see the way it's turned off my original? This is my original here. There. And this is the new one. It is still super high poly, but if I... Oh, sugar. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, that's fine. If I go page down all the way to the lowest level, is that working? No? What? Why isn't it going down a level? Okay, so Retopology seems to have failed. It's super high poly. I'm not sure. That's the original. This is the Retopology. The curves are also not following. They kind of are. See the way it's kind of trying to cover around here? They kind of are, but not really. The biggest concern is that I can't go down levels. So let me just delete that. Let's try again. Target face go 1000. I turned off transfer sculpt detail, maybe that'll do something. We'll see.
Are the other features have any custom schemes substance and
Say again, sorry?
are the other features have any custom schemes using like substance design
Custom skins.
or
Materials.
materials?
I do.
Isn't the week after next we have here?
Can do that next week. Yeah.
We have 2 weeks after Easter.
You have 3 weeks off from me, basically, because I'll be gone the week before Easter. 2 weeks after.
Is this due before?
There we go. Retopology succeeded. So I think I had a transfer sculpt detail on, which I don't want to. And you can see that it's retopologized now. I had symmetry turned off, so you can see it's not really that great because like it looks a bit wonky, like the face isn't the same. So I might redo it again, but with symmetry turned on. But you can see it kind of gets close enough, and now the mesh is following kind of like the line of the model, which makes it like pretty. If you see the jawline is like that, and the line is kind of following it, and same with the cheekbone structure is following it. Which means if I animate it, and like if I make her smile, it'll pull up on all of this, which is correct. It pulls up the same way like a face would. So let me just retopologize the last time. They are pretty much gone, but that's fine because I'll project the high poly onto this low poly, and the low poly will have it as a normal map. So when you look at it, it'll look, and that's what I was going to show you today. So let me just try last time to retopologize because I want to get a good template to retopologize onto. So mesh, retopologize again, and I will turn on the. So I had this on, that's why it screwed up before, and I will turn on symmetry. And symmetry, is that right? It asks you which side you want to keep, so let's keep. Doesn't matter. Keep that side, whatever. So let's go. Alright, and then we play the waiting game again. And after this is done, I'll show you, we go back to max, and I'll project the high poly onto the low poly as a normal map. Fingers crossed. Do you want to take a little break while we wait for this to retopologize? Let's do that. And I'll pause and come back to it when it's retopologized.